I want to spend some time now talking about some of the web-based applications that users can take advantage of. Now, some of these you may be familiar with already, such as Microsoft Outlook. We know that we can go to Outlook, and this is essentially very closely like the downloadable version of Outlook that you can install right on your computer, right? So you can check your email, you have access to all that. Keep in mind, remember that in order for users to have a mailbox, we have to have Exchange Online, and if we go back over to portal.microsoft.com, we do have an Exchange Admin Center that allows us to control our mailboxes. We can see what mailboxes we have by going under Recipients and clicking Mailboxes. This is not where you create a mailbox. To create a mailbox, you actually do that on portal.microsoft.com, and you have to assign a license that has Exchange in the license, right? So if I go over to licenses in my cases and I click on this Office 365 E5, again, you may have different licenses than me, does not matter. But if I go to this Office 365 E5 and I click the name of the user, you can see that the Exchange Online is one of the licenses. So this user, John Christopher, will have a mailbox, okay? So anyway, Outlook, though, is the front end side of that, and that's really what this video is mostly about, the front end side, what users see. You can kind of think of the admin tools and all that as more of a platform as a service that admins use for managing everything. But as far as your users go, they're sort of looking at everything from the software as a service side of all of this. All right. So that's Outlook. Exchange being the back end, what's controlling the mailbox. Let's look at some other things we have. So if we go back over to Microsoft365.com or click the little waffle symbol, all right, you can see the various apps. If I click Explore All Apps, you can see all the apps that are available. Now, Microsoft for years has had a program called Yammer. Yammer is meant to sort of be like a social media platform. Yammer has now become Engaged, Viva Engage. So if you try to go to Yammer, you'll just get redirected to Engage. So Engage, formerly Yammer. This is a sort of like a social media type feed. It's very similar to Facebook and Twitter, sort of a combination of the two. And so people can get on there and post discussions and things like that. But this is, of course, private to your company. So when I say social media, this is not something that is publicly available for the world to see. So users can come in here, post thoughts, messages. They can, praise, create polls, questions, things like that. And people can go in there, and it's going to work very similar, like I said, to Facebook, Twitter style social media. Okay. The next thing we've got is SharePoint. So SharePoint is one of your main core applications. SharePoint allows users to, and teams essentially, projects, to generate a website type scenario. So if I go right here and I click create a site, it's a very quick way to create a sort of like a little website where we can collaborate and post messages and images and files and things like that. So I can go right here if I wanted to create a team site, or if I wanted to communicate something, share information, engage, and inform viewers. That's what a communication site is. Team site is geared more towards project and collaboration. So I can click that and I can say, I'll just call this demo example. Set a description. You can even get into, not going to dive into this right now, but creating sensitivity, confidential information on there, and set rights to it. This can be public, anybody can join it, or private, only certain members can join it. So you can specify who can join it if you do private. We'll go next. We could add members. So if I want to add users to this, I'll just add myself. Click finish. All right, and then from there we've got our little SharePoint site. So we can have conversations. All right. This will link back to Outlook communications, or we can have documents. Documents that get posted can be stored over on OneDrive. All right. So that's the other thing I want to mention real quick is OneDrive with this. If we go back over, users can have personal data, and then there can be data shared within SharePoint that's made available to everybody. But that's what sort of ties to OneDrive for Business. If I jump back over here, I can go to my OneDrive. Oops, I clicked Excel. Let's try that again. I can go to my OneDrive, and you can see my OneDrive files that I've created. And you can also see quick access to Teams and SharePoint links. So definitely something to kind of jump in and play around with. But SharePoint all in all is relatively easy to use. It's very user friendly. You have a notebook. This you can click on. Takes you to OneNote. So see how everything kind of integrates. Here's your site content. So you can see all the data that's linked to the SharePoint site. You don't really need to be an expert on any of these apps. The main thing is just have a basic understanding of what this is all doing for you. All right. The last thing I'll show you, we'll go back over to Microsoft365.com. I want to show you, it's called Stream. And so you can go right here to All Apps. Of course, I've got it right here because I've used it recently. But you can go to All Apps to explore all apps, and you can do a quick search for Stream, or you can just look for it. There it is right there. So we'll go to Stream. All right, and so with Stream, I can upload videos. Stream is sort of like a private YouTube for your company in a certain way. It also can link back to SharePoint and all of that stuff in your OneDrive as far as like storing your videos and all that fun stuff. But ultimately, it's really like it's a video platform that's private to your company. This is really helpful if you're creating instructional videos or project videos related to some project you're working on, or if the CEO needs to make an announcement for everybody, or whatever it may be. This is a great way to do that. So you can upload your video, you can record, you have a playlist of various videos. In very large companies, of course, you can imagine this gets very big with lots and lots of videos that people can share. This can be made to where it's for its personal. It can also, be oriented just towards business. All right. So the main thing here is, again, you don't have to be an expert on Stream either. Just be aware of what it's used for. Now, I will tell you that Stream used to be a separate thing and was not linked to SharePoint in any way. Now it is. It was kind of confusing because it was a lot like SharePoint in that SharePoint lets you have instructional videos and all that. Well, now it's all integrated. So you'll even notice here on my screen, it says there was what was called Stream Classic. Well, now its Stream is linked directly with SharePoint. So it's all kept in this one central place. All right. All right. Well, hopefully that gives you a nice little understanding of these various apps and kind of how they integrate together and how the collaboration works. Exchange being the back end for Outlook for your email inboxes and all of that. You have Engage, which is formerly Yammer. You have SharePoint, which is your sort of front-end website for projects. People can get on there and engage each other by posting images and videos and all of that. The videos and all that can link back with Stream. And then, of course, the files themselves are stored in OneDrive, or OneDrive for Business, as they call it. All right. So that's kind of how it all kind of integrates together and how your users can take advantage of some of these great applications.